This week in IT, Windows 11 is installed on more than 19% of PCs worldwide. Microsoft releases Defender for Business, and it pledges to help protect businesses against cyber attacks during the war in Ukraine. And Lenovo releases the first ARM-based PCs based on Microsoft's Pluton security platform. And there's much more. So this week, AdDuplex published its monthly report, and it shows that Windows 11 is now on 19.3% of all PCs worldwide. Now this is an increase on January, where it was about 16%. So I would say, considering that Windows 11's only been released, for 3 or 4 months now, it's doing pretty well. Of course, the biggest percentage of the Windows pie is with Windows 10 version 21H1, which is still the most used version of Windows. But it'll be interesting to see how this changes over the coming year. It'll probably slow a bit until businesses start to pick up Windows 11 maybe in 2 or 3 years' time, as Windows 10 gets near to end of support. So it wasn't so long ago that Microsoft announced that it was releasing a preview version of a new security suite called Microsoft Defender for Business, and this suite is now being made available specifically for those who have a Microsoft 365 for Business Premium subscription. Now, Defender for Business is available to those subscribers at the moment, but it will be available as a separate product that you can purchase regardless of whether you have a Microsoft 365 subscription in the future. It's designed for organizations that have up to 300 employees. So this solution comes with a dashboard that lets businesses track, of course, what's going on with their antivirus platform, and it's cross-platform, so this works on Mac, Windows, Linux, etc., and it has all of the things that you would expect built into it, but with enterprise grade quality, of course. So you get things like endpoint detection and response, so you get malware, ransomware protection, phishing protection, all of that good stuff built in. And of course this goes beyond traditional endpoint detection. With this you get endpoint detection and response, so it's designed to alert you and even take actions when it finds that maybe a device has been infected with malware or ransomware, to try and stop that from spreading across to other devices on your network. Now, one of the problems that Microsoft has with this product, of course, is that a lot of organizations are very fond of those antivirus products that were entrenched in the market maybe 15, 20 years ago from the likes of course, McAfee and Symantec. And because they're so ingrained into the corporate architecture, it's quite hard for Microsoft to persuade organizations to give up on those products and replace them with Microsoft Defender. But because, a lot of this technology is already built into Windows and it just leverages that, and because it's all connected to the cloud and all of these enterprise grade features that you have in this, it really does look like it's a great product. Now, I've been speaking to people who use this and have been implementing it in organizations, and they say it really is a great product. And of course, I was never a fan of Symantec and McAfee antivirus. I thought they were terrible to use, didn't really offer the best protection at times, and to be honest, I'd love to have a look at this and see what it really offers for small businesses. And as part of that announcement this week, Microsoft also said that they're going to help try and protect businesses against increased cyber threats during the war in Ukraine. Now, of course, there is increased cyber activity, not just around Russia and Ukraine, but potentially targeting businesses in the West as well. So a solution like Microsoft Defender for Business can obviously potentially help protect your business from those kinds of threats. Now, it didn't get much press, but there was the Mobile World Conference in Barcelona this week. And as part of that, Lenovo announced a new device, the ThinkPad X13, that is based on the first ARM chip that uses Microsoft's Pluton security architecture. Now, Microsoft have talked a little bit about this device in a blog post, and it's quite interesting that really what they're talking about mainly here are the security features that it provides. So basically, this provides security really from the hardware level right through to the software level, and it's designed to work with Windows 11 PCs that are Secure Core certified. It works with Azure attestation. So this thing is really integrated into the Microsoft security ecosystem at this stage, and this is the first ARM chip to have this technology. In fact, Pluton was only really made publicly available at the end of last year. Now, what does this all mean? Well, what it means for this device, of course, is something interesting, because this is a device that is based on the third generation of a Snapdragon chip that Microsoft and Qualcomm have been working on together in partnership. Now, we've seen this Generation 3 chip before, and the biggest problem with Windows on ARM, of course, is performance. And we know that this Generation 3 chip, while it does improve performance, it's not a great leap beyond the second generation. And of course, there's a lot of competition with the Apple M1 chips, but it doesn't come anywhere near that at the moment. So that's why Microsoft is talking mainly in its blog post here about security and all the security features and advantages of combining this new ARM chip with Pluton, but not really talking much about the performance benefits of this new chip and what that's going to bring. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how this device really performs when it's released, but I wouldn't expect anything, of course, that's going to come anything near the Apple M1 chips. That's really not on the cards at the moment for Windows on ARM, unfortunately. So following on a little bit from the Cloud Knox announcement that Microsoft made last week. Now, that system is about really giving you insight into how privileges are assigned to identities and objects in the cloud. Not just Azure, it's a multi-cloud platform service. This is also interesting, and it potentially connects to Cloud Knox, I would say. And this announcement Microsoft had this week about a preview of Azure AD multi-stage access reviews. So what this allows you to do as an organization is basically decide if somebody or something needs access to an object in the cloud or a resource, for instance, then that access can go through a whole workflow where it has to be approved. And this is a device or a utility that will allow organizations to do that. So I think, again, it's really interesting how Microsoft is positioning itself along with Azure AD as a go-to solution for all of your security needs in the cloud. And again, being able to implement access reviews in some kind of workflow is not really any different from, the same way that we do that with on-premises resources. This is really just a solution to solve those same problems, but in the cloud. It also came to light this week that there's an issue with Windows 10 and 11 and the reset feature. Now, this is a problem that affects files, and only files that have been synced using the OneDrive client locally to the PC. So if you have any files that are locally synchronized to a device and then you perform a system reset and choose to delete all of your local files, Microsoft discovered, with I think the help of Call for Cloud, that some of those files that are synced from OneDrive can end up still on the PC after a reset. Now, this is of course a bug that Microsoft will try to fix in an upcoming Windows update. But if you regularly perform PC resets and it's critical that any confidential information that you have is removed from those devices, then you need to bear in mind, if you're using the OneDrive sync client, that maybe not all of your local files will actually have been deleted from that PC. Now, Microsoft has offered a couple of workarounds, and you can basically disconnect your OneDrive sync client from the PC before you perform a reset. If you want a full list of all the workarounds available, then you can head over to the knowledge base article on Microsoft's website. And another new security feature that we have this week is now that you can co-author documents in Microsoft Office on mobile. So what you're able to do now, just like you've been able to do in the past on the web or in the desktop applications for Microsoft Office, is that you can open those documents and you can make changes in real time with other people who have those documents open on their PC as well, if these documents are encrypted. And now you're able to do that on mobile, so somebody can join in that editing process on their mobile device using the Office apps for Android and iOS. And this is, of course, for documents that are protected using Microsoft Information Protection. Okay, so if you found this video useful, then please give it a like, and if you'd like to see similar content every week, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And that's it from me for this week, and I'll see you next time.